That was an M&M I made disappear like magic. Greetings, fellow Earthling. This is Magic Brad here at the Magic Brad Show in the undisclosed location of the Magic Lounge. And today, we're going to be talking about getting traffic to your opportunity or offer. In fact, I even got a little graphic I can show you. I made up here. Woo! Da-da-da-da-da-da. Now, why is this called Marketing Magic? Well, Magic Brad, and I've got my friend Magic Mark Eaton. Ta-da!
Mark, Michael. See?
Michael.
Yeah. Good
Wow.
morning. Good morning. How are you?
Clarify. Too many M's.
How are you, Magic Bob?
I'll do it in a pinch. Magicians are weird. I've always tell my friend Larry Kalo that when you grow up young doing magic, you see things from a total different perspective because you're looking at it from like backstage kind of thing. Yeah. I think our brains develop totally bizarre, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the gift that we give up, you know, whenever we uncover the secret, you know?
Yeah, you know, another strange thing, you know, those little racks they have on the back of bicycles, and you put your kid in it, and you pull your kid around the lake, and they're looking the other way.
Yep. Yep.
I wonder what it looks like to them when all of a sudden they stop. Because they see all this stuff going away from them, and normally we see stuff coming towards us. So they develop stuff going away, and then all of a sudden, coming,
changing your perspective.
Totally, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We've got a guest that popped in here. Let's see who it is. It's our fellow magician friend, Mike Wilkie.
Hey, that's a good name, Mike. I like that name.
If you don't know who Mike Wilkie is, he's got a thing called Watermelon Bones. He does cartoons. You might have seen his cartoons in some of the magic magazines. Cool. So he does like little pun type cartoons, and
nice.
It's kind of fun. So we got some magicians on here. This isn't for just magicians.
I like how you got his name right, but not mine. So
well, that's because I've known him for a very long time. I don't know why I said Magic Mark. Did I say Magic Mark?
Mark Eaton. You said Mark Eaton.
Mark Eaton.
Yeah, Mark's my cousin. So.
Well, maybe he's supposed to be on. I'm not sure. Enough with this craziness. I apologize. It happens. It happens. So right before we started, I grabbed some M&Ms, and I wanted to share just something that I came up with as far as magic. And people that are listening that aren't magic related won't get this, but I did a little thing at a SAM meeting. It was a sort of a hot rod type thing with M&Ms because of the colors. Okay. So I just pour a bunch of M&Ms in my hand, and I start eating the things out, and I'd lay out 6 of the M&Ms and have them pick a number between 1 and 6. And then when they picked it, I showed all the M&Ms still in my hand. They're all same color of the one they selected.
Cool. Very good.
You understand? You could do that. So you just take a bag of M&Ms and put them in your hand, and you just start eating the ones you don't want, and okay, say the ones you do, and you predict the future.
That's awesome. That's a good little enforcement. I like that.
Anyways, I think I showed you that little graphic we got. What I'd like to talk about today, if it's okay with you, is traffic and getting traffic to your offer. And the reason this is important to me is because I had some stuff that was going really good with Facebook, with paid advertising, and you got your organic stuff. But what's happened, I think, when this pandemic thing came along, a lot of people got online because that was the only way to communicate with a human. And it sort of saturated the entire world. It's really hard to get your head above water to be seen. So maybe you might have some tips on getting noticed with getting more traffic to your offer.
Yeah. So basically, I'm sure you've probably heard of the AIDA model, the AIDA, which is the awareness, interest, desire, and action. You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
So it's basically a typical sales funnel. I mean, you can apply a sales funnel to any business because you're obviously creating an offer and you're serving an audience. And so what happens is that you have to sort of identify who that audience is. And I think we went over this a little bit last week, but it really does come, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it really does come down to like just truly understanding who your customer avatar is, you know. And once you can start providing a service or a product to an audience that you know serves a need, then there's interest obviously right there, you know. So Groups are a great way to do this. I'm a huge, and I know we've went back and forth on this, organic's one way, SEO, then we've got, you can buy a list, you can do this, you can cold call. And there's obviously going to be like these like temperature zones where they're, going from warm to cold, depending on which one you choose. And I know, like, if you ever heard of a thermal read on they do like, I think it's called Hotjar. Hotjar is an app that you can put on your website to show you like which areas are getting clicked on the most.
Oh, yeah.
So what they do is they give you like a thermal report on where people are, their mouse are hovering over for longer periods of time, or where they're clicking on it, and those areas are red. So, the guy that taught me everything as far as marketing goes, he was the one who says, you can't really measure until you monitor. And so you have to monitor before you can measure, and then you can monetize. So it's basically monitor, measure, and then monetize. And so what you have to be able to do is say, okay, well, let's just throw some content out there and see what sticks. And then once you start understanding what people are looking for, now you can start creating those offers. Now you can start building all of your material around that, and then you can start serving those people. So depending on who it is that we're talking about, I would encourage them to basically just be as active as they can within groups, and then be able to use like the search functions within groups to kind of look for specific requests. So like we have a community platform with 22,000 people in Apopka, which is a small city right down the street. And whenever I used to live down there, I would ask questions in there, or I would type in I'd get bored in the morning and I'd type in, quotation marks, need a website designed. And then I would hit enter, and it would give me every post within that group that people have used that phrase within their post.
Right.
So I would just kind of go down through the list, and I would make a note. I would send them a private message and go, "Hey, Bob, this is Michael. This is Mark. This is Michael." And I'd say, I'm a web designer. I'm here locally. I just saw that, you had something that you were looking for. Did you already get that taken care of? Or maybe I can help you out with that, And so I would start putting like little videos together on how to overcome, boredom, for like COVID, that's how I would draw traffic over to my restaurant on Tuesday nights when I was working at the pizza place. It wasn't a self promotion, but it was more of a, hey, if you're not doing anything and you guys want to have some fun, I'll be here on Tuesday night. So it was promoting, but it wasn't like trying to ask for a sale as much as it was
right.
Get traffic over. Yeah.
So the whole social media, kind of what I'm hearing is you really have to be human and just do your social thing. There is no special trick to it. But as you're talking, I was thinking of another thing, because sometimes you get discouraged because you do a post and you look at the views and the views are minimal.
Yeah.
Isn't it true that oftentimes there's a lot more people seeing what's going on that the tracking stuff actually shows?
Yeah, so organic post right now, the reach is really horrible on Facebook. I'm just going to put that out there for a business, not for a group. A group usually, is where you want to kind of, you have your herd, your tribe inside there. And whenever you post, usually people will get a notification, hey, so-and-so posted in the group, You can also, but what happens is with the organic reach, it's like 3%. So if you're on a business page and you put something out there, hey guys, we're going to be doing a special offer tomorrow, only 3% of your audience is going to see it, which is why I always tell people, there's two types of people. There's the people that are going to pat you on the back, like your aunt, your uncle and stuff, and say, hey, you're doing a great job, keep it up. But they're not going to contribute financially to your business, right? I never add those people or encourage them to like my business page, because that's real estate. I don't need to see, I don't want to see my stuff because they're not my target audience. So anybody that's going to be like, hey, you're a cool guy, let's go hang out. I don't want them to be on my page. I want them to be on my personal page. If they're an attractive lead that I see potential, I'll encourage them to go, not only like and follow me, but also like drop down and get notifications first in their news feed, because you can actually have people choose to receive notifications in their news feed or see your post first when they refresh their news feed. And so I try to always encourage people to do that. But yeah, organic reach on Facebook is horrible. Instagram is much, much better. If you're going to be on Instagram, it's less drama, because obviously with Facebook, you can post like a whole paragraph of your life,
Right.
Whereas Instagram, you mainly are communicating through images, or video that are like 60 seconds or less. So that's where you kind of want to determine like who's your audience and where you want to be at.
So bringing some of this stuff into real life, it's kind of like these different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, all that. They sort of have a different vibe to them, and you have to be human in them.
Mm-hmm.
And I like what you're talking about. When you go onto a group, you just don't blatantly start saying, hey, you should buy a website for me because I need the money, and you need a website because your website sucks. You wouldn't do that in real life.
Right.
In a networking type of situation, oftentimes you see these people, you make this post, you start engaging, and they come back with just a thumbs up and then they're gone.
Yep.
Or they come back with a very short, nice.
Yeah.
They're not really engaging. And if you put that in a real situation, that's the person that's not interactive, engaging, and attractive to be around because they're just quiet in the corner. They're not really saying anything. So you got to get up and do some stuff.
Yeah, so that's a good point because I see businesses do it all the time. That I'll just a buddy of mine owns a restaurant. I'll go look at his page, and it's like everything is $2 mimosas on Sunday. We've got this, and this. It's all push, push, push. You don't want to become that annoying guy at the mall that polishes the rings all the day. It's like, hey, can I see your ring? Can I see your ring? You don't want to be able to do that guy. You want to be the guy that basically like gives and gives and gives, and then attracts through the law of reciprocity. Like you're providing value. You're adding. I know you hate to. We're adding value, but we're adding that value, to people's lives.
On that, it needs to be what is the value. Like, here's a good example. You do website design. You help people with their websites. You'll build their website out.
Yeah, and promotion materials. Yeah,
and if you're in a group, and we'll use magicians as an example because they're in the event industry. They're entertainers. They're either one of three things. They're a hobbyist and just like to fart around with it.
Right.
Or they're a part-timer and they do little shows, or they're a professional and they want to meet event planners and get serious full-time income from what they're doing. Right. So when you're in there talking about, say you're in a group of hobbyists talking about building a website, you're not adding value because they don't care.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's a couple of people that they care because they're in the same position that I was 25 years ago where I couldn't afford.
They might be going into it, so they might want a website.
Yeah. Well, not a website, but like, how can they do it themselves? I mean, I think we all know magicians are like the cheapest people in the world, right? And so they're not going to want to pay somebody $2,500 when they can spend that $2,500 on a magic convention and go to the dealer's room, right? And so what I do is I give them, for the lack of a better way of saying it, I give them an ounce of hope that they can actually do this themselves, knowing 80% won't do it, but that 20% that will do it, that's the ones I'm kind of counting on later to come back. Yeah.
Kind of my point is you might be, not you specifically, but a marketer might be preaching their services in the wrong room. If you're in a room of hobbyists that just want to play versus if you're in a place where people want to start working conventions, it might be a group of, professional entertainers. They want to know, how can I get this working? So now they got an ear to hear. And I think that's part of the problem is people think just because there's a group that has 20,000 people in it doesn't mean that it's the right group. And like I used the other analogy, if you got a group of vegans and vegetarians, you don't go in there and try and sell them steak and hamburger hot dogs.
Right. But here's the way I look at it. If I can take 20% of those 20,000 people that are in that group, the other 80% that aren't interested, that's fine, right? That doesn't mean they won't come back 6 months from now and say, hey, you know what? I think I'm ready to make the dive, So what I do is I don't look at it as a lost cause because I'm only spending 30 to 40 minutes of my time in there a week, posting content. Whereas if I can get 2 people out of that 20,000 to come to me and say, hey, I'll invest $2,000 with you on a website, that's fine with me. I'm only out 30, 40 minutes of my time creating content for that group every week. So the way I look at it is that I also look at the lifetime value. So that $2,000, even though it's now, that doesn't mean next year they won't come to me and say, hey, I want to do a whole new rebrand. Can we go ahead and do business cards, postcards? Can we do flyers? So that's another $2,000 I can probably get next year from those two people.
Right.
So I kind of look at the odds that way. I don't try to just go, I don't want that. It's kind of, that's just the way I personally look at it.
I want to take a little break here and showcase my new Synergy Collaborative member, Popped Corn. This is a local Minneapolis company that does customized gifts and things like that for popcorn, for corporate events, and for like parties and weddings and things like that. Want to pop her up. So as an example, let's talk a little bit about her business as opposed to Magician's business. How would she be able to get more corporate business to buy? Because instead of just buying a one-off tin of popcorn, she wants to sell 250 of them to Target Corporation.
Yeah. So in situations like that where somebody has an item, which I think we can all agree, everybody almost loves popcorn, right? So, and obviously, it's a good overhead. She's probably doing good margins because obviously it's popcorn. This is how AMC and all the theaters, make a lot of their money is they do it through concessions, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know her business, I don't know who she is, but my big thing I always tell people when they have something like that is joint venture. I always tell people to build partnerships or strategic alliances with companies around their areas that can promote their business in exchange for giving some of their stuff away. So if somebody, let's say, has got the space for her to put her product in, go to those people and say, hey, I have this product, would you like to sell it or promote it? And then I'll give you X amount, of popcorn or product for your customers, every month. And then and then also go maybe do a raffle, do like a gift basket raffle. Lead generation will be great for her because she can give away these like nice sets every week through her Facebook or Instagram page. And in order to enter the contest, they have to like hand over their information, their name and email. So that's a great way for her to build her business. And also do like remember the lunch cards, the fish bowls people would drop in.
Right.
So you're kind of doing that thing, where enter to win, you make the announcement on Monday who the winner was, or at the end of the week on Friday. But then now that you have their emails, now you can go ahead and create a campaign that goes specifically to those emails that just entered that week and said, hey, congratulations, Sarah Huckabee, or whoever it is. I don't know. I don't know why I'm using that name. That was the first one that popped in my head. I don't know why I just used that name. But anyways, Sam Smith or whatever, and says, hey, congratulations, you won the $59.95 gift set of popcorn. Congratulations. By the way, if you're seeing this email and you didn't win, thanks for entering. Here's a coupon code that you can get that's good for the next 72 hours that gets you blank, right? So it'll give them a discount or maybe a buy one, get one offer. But you're making an offer to all those people who showed an interest because they wanted your product. They just didn't get a chance to win it. And now you can go to them with a limited time offer.
So a lot of these we're talking about now are different ideas for all this stuff. And you mentioned the joint venture one, and I'll throw this thing up here. This is a program that I'm involved with called mailboxpower.com/MagicBrad. That's my affiliate link for those that don't know. That is a gifting platform, and I'm going to try and hook her up with nice. Mailbox Power.
That's cool. I like that.
So they provide these gift baskets, and then they can use these to send out in packages in bulk.
Yeah, that's
because it's going to be a totally different marketing message if you're trying to reach someone that just wants to come in and win a discounted gift basket versus a corporate event planner that's going to order 500 of these things for their conference.
Yeah. Well, even in this situation, like let's say for example, we go back to live shows, right? And so all of a sudden, kids shows are picking up. She could even also like approach people like entertainers that are doing these events and saying, hey, I could supply you with these gift sets.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. And so if you do a kids party, for example, and you have a magician and she and a magician that do kids events talk, and then the guy goes, hey, I can upsell your popcorn sets, to my client, and then I'll give you a percentage of the sale, so.
And that's great for the magician because now you've got something that's over and above what every other magician's offering.
Exactly.
And mine comes with a gift basket for this the guest of honor.
Yeah, exactly. And
cool.
So you can do that too.
I love it. I love brainstorming and talking with other people like this because then the ideas kind of flow.
Yeah. Everybody wins. So.
Yeah. I think a lot of people get, I mean, I do get into this internet thing thinking that that's going to be the solution. And it always seems to turn around and go back to you need to be a human and interact with real human ideas. And the internet is nothing but a method of communication.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it does come down to you. I mean, we haven't reached fully autonomous, marketing. I think chat bots are probably the closest, but you still have to even build those out.
Those irritate me. Because at first I think I'm talking to the real person, and I'm going to ask a question, and then the question that I ask isn't in their line of answers, so I don't get an answer.
Yeah. Transparency. Yeah, there's an issue with transparency. That's why whenever I tell people to build them out, never try to make it look like it's you. Always greet yourself as Botsy or some kind of fun name. Like I'm the virtual assistant here.
Right.
Because I think once you kind of set their expectations to understand that they are talking to somebody that or something that's not a human, now they don't go into it thinking that, and then a minute later they're like, crap, this isn't a human being.
Well, again, sometimes I have a question that isn't in their line of answers, and if the answer's not there, and the thing just replies back with something that isn't relevant to me, and I just wasted time talking to an automated thing. I want to talk to a human.
Yeah, and it's funny because you can set tags, on specific keywords in chatbots where they can trigger, a flow. So if you say like pizza, for example, pizza can be a tag word that goes to this next set of, a response. But a lot of people don't even take the time to do that. So,
well, see, that's what happens. I think you understand that a lot more than I do, and I kind of do, but it frustrates me because I don't understand what's really going on. And I think consumers, they get hit with this automated stuff. And they get frustrated because they don't understand that it's just not quite programmed properly.
Right. And I think that also comes, going back 30 seconds ago when I talked about transparency, I think that's the big issue because they don't take the time to let their audience know, hey, this isn't me. This is a platform that I use,
That's a very good point. So if they created something like, Botsy or something like you said, that I'm the animated robot for popcorn.
Or popcorn, Yeah.
And then that, okay, I'm talking to a robot. I will talk robot-like and see if I can get some answers here.
Like I can see having a chat bot called the Colonel. I'm the Colonel.
Colonel bot.
Popcorn Colonel. But it's just
Colonel bot.
Sergeant. Yeah, exactly.
Then you can have some fun with it, and it turns into entertainment, and people enjoy that interaction.
Exactly. That's exactly the whole thing. So when I build chatbots, I build GIFs. The GIFs where you can have like Will Ferrell's doing the woo, like these things, or the Minions are doing like the high five. So I always build in GIFs to my chatbots to give it a more human element because that's how people talk now. Through emojis and through GIFs and stuff like that. We're more instant messaging. And I think the more human-like you can make those, the better.
Well, this has been really good. I don't like to do these too long. As everybody knows, I like to keep them condensed because I've seen some of these 2-hour webinars and I ain't got time. So I like to keep it tight and just let people know that we're doing this again next week and we'll have a new topic. If anybody has an interest in the topic, bring it on and we'll research it and try.
Leave a comment down below too, so I can chime in on that too. If somebody wants, if these are too short, they can always leave a comment, on the video. Yeah,
we did get somebody that I think this might be Bo, and he just didn't click the
Facebook user.
The privacy stuff, That's another topic we could talk about because that's all happening with the new iOS stuff, the privacy issues. And it's interesting because consumers, bottom line, do not want to be marketed to. They just...
Well, it's human nature. They never like to be... Even when you go to furniture,
So with that being said, I think sometimes it's nice to create your marketing more human-like and natural rather than a fancy-dancy camera and edits and all these zooms and all these things. Just go out on the street, do a card trick, and say, hey, you want to hire me?
Yeah.
It might be as good as that.
You ask. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right?
Gretzky, right?
Jordan. Or was it Gretzky? Either Jordan or Gretzky, yeah.
One of those famous guys.
Yeah, one of those athletic types.
It wasn't Magic Johnson, was it?
Yeah.
No, wasn't Mike Tyson, was it?
Wasn't John Wilkes Booth, was it? I'm just kidding.
Okay, we gotta go. It's going the wrong direction. You know, on that, I'm gonna try and save your butt here. But you gotta be in a good spirits, even though that kind of stuff, you know.
We do. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that out there.
It was good. It was good. Jokes are fun. It's been long enough.
Take life seriously. It's not like we're getting out alive. So
that's the truth, you know. And consider the alternative, right?
Right.
Be happy.
Exactly.
Well, Magic Mike, I appreciate you taking the time again. I'm going to be talking with you down the road because I need to redo some websites. And do you use WordPress?
I don't. I actually build everything from HTML because I have more design control and I can really fit the brand better. However, with that being said, I do have the ability to take those designs, and I have a really cool guy out in Arizona who does all my WordPress stuff. But I send him all the files, and he transfers everything over to Divi. Have you ever heard of Divi before? It's a theme in WordPress. So we convert everything over to WordPress, and then that way you can make your stuff, you know, all on the back end. I don't really get a lot of people too much, believe it or not. I don't like changing framework because my experience is obviously in UI and UX. So once I set a framework, it typically does pretty well. It generates revenue, you know, and I don't want to. It's like having I always compare it to having a house. You can put different coats of paint in the house, but you just want to be careful when it comes to doing a demo and tearing a wall down and putting something else up, right? So in a website, you can change out pictures, you can change out images, but when it comes to framework, I always suggest if it's working, then just leave it alone, you know?
Like knocking down a supporting wall?
Exactly, right.
That might not be a good idea, yeah.
Probably not, probably not. But yeah,
well, this is your website right here. And what I really like about your site is it's basic. It's not like a rabbit hole.
Yep.
You can kind of get what you need. You see that you're there. You see you got experience. I know how to contact you. It's nice and tight, like that.
I did it like that because of mainly agents. In fact, if you do eatonmagic.com/agent, that's actually my agent-friendly website. So if I ever get agents that come to me and say, hey, we want to hire you, can we get a website? They never like to see a website with contact info. And instead of the contact info, I just say, you know, get a hold of the agent that brought you here. So
I like the way you think because it's very similar to me, and I like the way I think. So.
Yeah, straightforward, man.
My brochures were like that. They always had a little square on the back that was empty. There was no contact information on the brochure. I would put my business card on there or let the agent do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to put you in the green room and sign this one off. I appreciate you taking the time again this morning.
Yeah,
no, what's the wisdom?
Take care.
Hey, bud. Well, that was our friend Michael, Magic Mike Eaton, and he's not that one. He can't dance. So I'm going to sign this off. I appreciate you taking the time. Please share this out if you're watching this on YouTube. If you could subscribe to the channel, much appreciated, and give it a like and get a little notification bell, ding dong, and then you'll get some notifications. Be well, be good, be safe. See ya. Bye.